this is another scary story. So, do you ever hear creepy sounds in your house? Maybe you live alone and you hear footsteps in the attic or your bedroom. That's exactly what happened to our next Reddit user. Let's jump right into the story. Anna was 17 when she first realized her house wasn't as safe as she thought. Her parents had gone out of town for the weekend, leaving her in charge of the house. Her dad even called her responsible, which made her roll her eyes so hard she thought they'd get stuck that way. Still, she knew they trusted her. They wouldn't have left if they didn't think she could handle it. The first night was great. She made popcorn, watched movies late into the night, and curled up in bed with her phone. Then, around midnight, she heard it. The sound of heavy footsteps coming from above her bedroom ceiling. She froze. Her room was on the top floor. Above her was only the attic, a place her family rarely used. She knew that the house had an attic door in the hallway outside her room, but it hadn't opened since she moved in 5 years ago. And she knew her parents would have been up there already if they needed anything. So it had to be coming from above. The footsteps weren't quick or light like a raccoon or a mouse might make. They were slow, heavy, human. She forced herself to stay still, straining to listen. Was she imagining this? No, there it was again. Step, step, step. The sound moved from one side of the attic to the other, directly above her head. Her throat went dry. She wanted to scream, but she didn't want to wake her neighbors. Plus, what would she even yell? Get out. To what? A raccoon. The footsteps got louder, then softer as they moved further away. Finally, they stopped. The silence was worse than the footsteps. And then 3 loud knocks, as if someone stomped their boot against the attic floor. Anna leapt out of bed and dialed her dad's number without thinking. He'd have to come home early and ruin the surprise party her mom was planning. Oh, well, she thought, he'll understand. When she whispered into the phone, "Dad, come home, please." She could hear him tense up at the other end. "What's wrong?" "I don't know. I just heard some really loud noises in the attic. I think I was just imagining things." "Never mind." She tried to convince herself as much as her dad, who arrived home 30 minutes later, breathless and worried, demanding she show him the attic. He climbed into the attic first to reassure her, but what he found turned Anna's fear into something far darker. In one corner of the attic lay an old blanket, an empty water bottle, and food wrappers. Someone had been living up there. Anna felt sick. Her dad called the police. They searched the attic and even brought in a dog, but they found no trace of anyone except for some old boxes in the far corner. An officer suggested that a drifter had been sneaking in through the attic window and staying there for weeks, maybe months. He'd left before they arrived, but he might come back. Anna looked at the window. It was too small for an adult to fit through. Her dad called the police and told them to come back when it was light out. As the sun rose, the attic filled with light and the mystery deepened. There was a single set of small footprints in the dust on the floor, leading to the window. But those footprints were Anna's. The police believed that the drifter had been watching the house for weeks, waiting for Anna's parents to go out of town. He snuck in, knowing they'd leave for the weekend. And when they did, he climbed into the attic through the window. But why? Their house was in a middle-class neighborhood. It wasn't like the drifter had nowhere else to go. Maybe he was trying to stay out of trouble. Maybe he was trying to stay hidden. The police never caught him, but they did find signs that he'd been living in other attics in the area. He must have been desperate to stay hidden. Anna's parents increased her allowance, and she never saw a drifter again. But for years, she couldn't sleep in that room without the light on, afraid that one day the footsteps would come back. Hey, thanks for watching this episode. If you like this story, check out the playlist where we publish the most frightening tales from Reddit. If you want to submit a story, follow the link in the pinned comment. Until next time, don't forget, we have a podcast. Also, if you want more stories like these, we've got a podcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.